Hi everyone. As a parent of two kids, I know that my childhood versus my kids' childhood are vastly different. I grew up during a time when there was no internet and the start of the internet. We would look through magazines to find out the latest fashions or hear about celebrity news, while kids nowadays, all they have to do is just Google search it, or they have TikTok or Insta to just look through whatever they need to find out. As a teenager, I always looked at those supermodels thinking, oh, I wish I could be that skinny. I wish I had that type of body type. Then I can be attractive, or that I can get more boys to like me that way. But in reality, I think I was just a really impressionable teenager. And even though I knew that if I work hard by exercising and eating right, I might be able to obtain. And looking back as an adult now, I can see that, especially kids in like preteen to teenage years, they are very impressionable, especially when they see celebrities or just people who are in their mind, their ideal body type, and they try to imitate. Sometimes it can cause eating disorder. Today's Reddit story is about an OP standing up to her mom, letting her know that she is also part of the problem in her developing a eating disorder. So here we go. It's from the subreddit, Would I be the a-hole? Would I be the a-hole if I told my mom she's as much to blame as my aunt? When I was 11, about to turn 12, I was visiting my grandpa, and my aunt also happened to be visiting him at home. When we arrived at his house, my aunt was already there, and I was eating chips because it was a long car ride, and I was hungry. My aunt must have noticed that, and while my grandpa was cooking dinner, she asked me if she could talk to me in private. She took me out to the patio and started talking to me about my weight and how I should watch what I eat and that I should be careful my body doesn't end up like my sister's and my mom's. I've never been overweight, but two of my sisters are slightly overweight, and my mom had 4 kids, which made her gain weight. I was shocked and didn't really know how to respond, but it made me feel bad about myself. Later on, when my parents and I were driving to our hotel, I told them what my aunt said, and Mom said that my aunt meant it in the best way possible and that I should get over it. I felt even more hurt after she said that because I felt like my feelings were being invalidated. I told one of my sisters, and she got really mad that my aunt would say that to an 11-year-old and said that she'll talk to our mom about it. My mom said that she'll talk to my aunt about it, but never did, and got mad at me and told me that I shouldn't have told my sister. Fast forward to now. I have an eating disorder, anorexia, and my mom keeps suggesting that social media is the cause, and when I tell her that we both know that's not the reason, she goes quiet and doesn't bring it up for a few days, then goes back to suggesting that. I'm honestly getting fed up with the fact that she won't acknowledge that her sister caused me to spiral and think about my weight more than anything, and that her not talking to my aunt and lying to me saying that she would talk to her just feels like she was enabling what my aunt said. I just need different perspectives on this before I say something to my mom I might regret later. There is an update. It was suggested that I put this in my post, so I will. Hi, OP here. I've been reading through the comments, and I should have been more specific in my post. But when my aunt made the first comment, my family was dealing with the death of a family friend, which already made me depressed and sensitive, which my mom thought a visit to my grandpa would help because we're really close. My mom has also made comments about my weight and body in the past, and every time I tell her to stop, she says that I just need to lighten up or say it's just a joke. I was in therapy for my ED, depression, and anxiety. My therapist was fired a few months into the sessions for some reasons. We were never told the reason. My family does have a history of EDs. like one comment suggested, and that's one of the reasons my sister was so mad when I told her. My mom is very aware of how I felt about my aunt's comment and continues to make comments of her own. I'm sorry if this is a bit out of order, but I'm really anxious that my family might find this post. I feel really bad for this OP. Her own family, her mom and her aunt, the ones who should be her role models, is telling her she needs to watch her weight. That is not positive reinforcement. And what the aunt have said, totally uncalled for, especially to an 11-year-old. I mean, words can really hurt. And in this case, it really traumatized the OP. Oh, it's just so upsetting. But let's see what some of the commenters have to say about this. First comment says, you need to be honest with your mother, and she needs to own her part in it as well. I am sorry you have to deal with this, and I hope you find a path to recovery. Another commenter says, time to rip the band-aid off and be brutally honest. I hope you are getting treatment and therapy for this, because it's unlikely that the one offhand comment would make you spiral unless there was underlying issues. Is it possible your mother is part of this underlying cause and having the harsh conversation would be helpful to you? Please get help. This internet stranger is wishing you strength and peace in your struggle with your ED and your mom. Another commenter says, not the a-hole. Your mom may get mad, but it'll help you by getting it off your chest. Tell her that social media wasn't the big thing that it is now, so there's no reason to blame it. The cause probably stemmed from having an aunt that made an 11-year-old worry about her eating and a mother who refused to help when asked, even lying that she would. Another comment says, not the a-hole. Damn straight your mom knows what the real reason is. Her silence is the answer. Keep telling her. She wants to wash her hands clean of this mess, but put it back only on you. Another commenter says, not the a-hole. Both your mother and your aunt are to blame for your eating disorder, but social media might actually be partly at fault, but in my opinion, not nearly as much as your family. You need therapy, but your mother and aunt also need to accept their personal responsibility and shoulder much of the blame. One final comment. Hate to break it to you, but one random conversation with an aunt is not all that is causing your issues. It is a factor, but you need to dig in and figure out what else is feeding the behavior. I was anorexic for years 12 through 21, and I had some people saying I was too thin, some saying I was fat. I'm 5'6" and 95 pounds for a couple of years. Everyone had an opinion, and this was the era when supermodels or sticks. If you can get some counseling, you may be able to stop the mental spiral. Talking to your mom is probably not going to solve anything. Having a therapist to talk to her might. And then there's some commenters commenting on this. And a commenter had a response by saying, her mother has continually made similar comments. And then a follow-up commenter says, that's why talking to her mom isn't going to help. Mom is obviously oblivious to the damage she is doing. Sometimes hearing it from a third-party medical professional, like a therapist, will make an impression. All these comments given to the OP for her to get help and to get the support that she needs, I really hope the OP really takes it to heart. Because truly it helps. All these commenters have said the mom and aunt are basically the main culprits in her situation from the sounds of things, unless the OP is leaving out some other things. And I really do hope that by getting a therapist involved, that it will help her onto the road to recovery. And I hope all the best to the OP and that she makes a complete recovery from this. I know it's going to be a long and hard journey. So I hope the OP makes a full recovery and her life would be much happier and healthier. Do you guys have any advice for this OP? I would love for you to leave those in the comment section. And if you like these type of stories, remember to subscribe and like. I'll talk to you later.